So here's a wild tour story with my man that I was managing at the time, MC Eiht. It was a show that was going to be in Milwaukee, but we flew into Chicago and we drove to Milwaukee.
That was probably the wildest tour experience I had. I mean, going to Milwaukee and, we had a big old lineup, Pac, myself, Escape, The Brat. I mean, it was a gang of people there, a gang of big names.
As we're waiting, everybody else is performing. Pac comes into our dressing room, but the energy it didn't quite feel right. And I'm like, I know he's gonna go on stage, do his thing, but it was weird energy that he was displaying along with his group. As I'm looking out at the audience and everything, I could tell that they were all gangsters. They were gangsters. And I knew that the majority of them were from Chicago. They drove up because I talked to a few people. And when A said, "Is Milwaukee in the house?" It was a cheer. And then he said, "Is anybody from Chicago in the house?" And then the whole arena just erupted. It was wild. And then next, it's time for Pac to do his thing. And Pac was on Keeping the Peace, Stop the Violence. But when he came out of his dressing room, his demeanor was different. I don't know what happened, but his demeanor was totally different. Tupac goes on stage, and Thug Life, they go on stage. Everybody's going wild. They're going crazy. Pac is in the house, and the place was like, you could barely hear yourself speak. It was so loud. Pac gets up on stage with Thug Life, and Pac starts. He does one song. People were into it. He was real animated with Thug Life and everything. And then after that, Pac did another song. So he finished like 2 songs, and he was on his way into the third. And then all of a sudden, he stopped. He said, "Cut the music, cut the music."
So Pac got on stage, and he got to talking about, a couple of incidents in Chicago. And, it went left, it went sideways, crowd got offended.
Somebody in the crowd had thrown a piece of ice up at Tupac. He was like, "I'll give $100 to the person that points out who threw the ice at me. I'll give you $100 right now." Nobody showed him. Everybody was just, because snitches get stitches, right? So he started calling people out. And I just remember him saying, and I said, "Oh God." I remember him saying, "Y'all ain't no gangsters. Y'all ain't nothing but busters. Y'all ain't real. You buster. Y'all are busters. All y'all busters. You guys ain't gangsters. We gangsters. This Pac, this Thug Life." All of a sudden, the crowd, they kind of got quiet a minute, but then all of a sudden, you could just hear and see that they were pissed. And there were some real gangsters out there. Thug Life was on the stage, and they were looking all, pissed. And one of the guys from Thug Life pulls out a gun. He pulls out a strap.
Guns was pulled out, shots was fired, and next thing you know, it was a whole riot in downtown Milwaukee.
Pac gets off the stage when he sees what's going on, but he's laughing. He's laughing like, and I'm like, "Oh man, this dude is on a death wish, because if these cats get him, he's done. He's done." Pac runs backstage. Now, I don't know where he went after he went to his dressing room. I don't know. He pulled a Houdini on us.
I don't know where Pac and them went, because that concert was probably thrown by some gangster niggas from Chicago or Milwaukee. So it wasn't I don't know what they did as far as Pac concerned, because that's what happened. My nigga Pac said some things, some guns were pulled, some shots were fired, and the concert was over. We got the hell up out of there the next morning. wasn't like nobody sat down because we were our own entities. You get me? And I think everybody knew that it started because my nigga Pac did what he did. So I don't know how it was handled. I know Milwaukee wasn't letting no rap concerts go down there no more.
I was told that they drove back to Chicago and Pac, laughing the whole time, goes back to Chicago, catches a flight back immediately to LA. And has to be the wildest story that I can tell you, being out on the road with a hip-hop star.